Hey everyone, I am checking in tonight and talking about something that happened to me today. Now I need you to stick with me on this program because I'm going to explain something that happened right here in the house today, and it went extraordinarily well. And then you'll think I'm all goody two-shoes in that. And then I'm going to come back and just tell you one time how I just blew it. Really, really bad. A not very proud moment. So that's the commercial to watch this whole thing through. But welcome tonight. I do have to shout out a big thank you to you because you are the one that kept me motivated tonight. Tonight was one of them days we've talked about in the past where I didn't really feel like putting a lot of energy into this. I even talked to my son tonight, was going to do a different post, and I thought, hey, my friend, how you doing, Amy? So I talked to my son and I told him of a post that I was possibly going to do, but I said I really needed to do this post today because this happened to me today. And so I thank you for doing that. Some of you know that the planner that I used, and it asks a very important question that I'm utilizing right now, a few minutes ago, and that is, who needs me on my A game today? And you are the one that needs me on my A game today. So it's you that has motivated me to go ahead and put the energy into the post that I need. So you need to stick around till the end because you're going to hear, like I said, a great story of a situation that happened today that worked out beautifully well. And then I'm going to come back and blow my reputation and just let you know that I'm not that good. So here's what it was. I want you to look at this really cool brand new countertop. And of course, those of you who are watching, Jim and Amy, know exactly what that's all about. It was replaced today. It looks beautiful, and I spent about an hour and a half here today with the manufacturer that put these in. And had a good time doing that, and at the end they got it all cleaned up. And I said the reason it was being replaced was because the last one had some pretty severe scratches in them that they didn't notice before they left. So it was quite a process on getting that fixed, and a brand new granite slab countertop up here today. So anyway, they came in and they made sure that I noticed the one out in the truck, so they know they didn't just do a bait and switch and bring the same one in, and we were of course kidding about that. And they got it all cleaned up, just ready to leave, and I said, I better take a look at this. And wouldn't you know it, right here beside me is a 23-inch scratch in my brand new countertop. On my second brand new countertop. And then as we started looking at it real close, there were all kinds of nicks and half-inch scratches. And so long and short of it was, it didn't matter to me. I mean, I know they're good for it. I know, Jim, you can appreciate this part here. It just turned into an inconvenience. And I told the guy, I said, you know what, this does suck, but I said, it's no big deal. I have a countertop. It beats the plywood that I was using for the last 3 months, so I'm plumb tickled with it, and I know you're good for it. The thing I did tell him, though, is I said, and you can go ahead and pass this on, I said, your boss sucks at communication. And the company that did my cabinets and everything, I said, they are always having to make excuses for him on why he's behind, why he's busy, the saw's down, it's holiday time, etc. Hey, Polly and Mary, thanks for tuning in. You got to go back and listen to the beginning because it'll make sense what I tell at the end. So anyway, played it calm, cool, and collective, which is more typical than me than not. And got out in the car, called the company that is in charge of all this and just explained what happened. And within several minutes, I had a phone call. They're going to build a brand new one in a hurry. And I was like, oh my God, don't hurry too fast because I want this one done right. Shannon, how you doing? So anyway, they are producing a new one, and they've already given me lots of discounts, which I very much appreciate. And it's because I'm not jumping down their throat, bellowing and screaming, because as we all know, that does no good. We talked about that in the video a long time ago called Practicing Patience. And then when you're that way to people, They don't want to help you. They want to get you the heck off their back, you know. So anyway, I got that finished today, and they said, well, they're going to give you another discount. And of course, old smarty pants me said, pretty soon it's going to be free. So that was the good side, the nice guy side of me in my book, Becoming Your Own Champion. And some of this I'll read to you so that I get some of the details in there. There is a chapter in here on knee-jerk reactions. Now, I don't know if that ever happens to you. It does not happen to me very often. But here is one time that I am not very proud of, and of course it had to go in my book. But it's on chapter 10. It's called Practicing Patience. And it's about a trip that we took to Disneyland with little kids, and there were 14 of us. So anyone who has ever done a trip like that knows that you can go bald when you take 14 people and a bunch of kids to Disney. So it's called Practicing Patience, and that's what I'm going to talk about, because have you ever had that moment that you wish you could take back? I have. I mean, often. There's sometimes I say some really stupid things and I go, oh, geez, I wish I didn't say that. Wish I could take that back. But this is one of those less than proud parenting moments that I had. And where else is this going to happen? The happiest place on earth, at Disneyland. So I blew it big time in Disneyland. But my family and there went there. There was 14 of us, like I said. And when we got there in the morning, we all rented strollers because it was just handy. Back in those days, you didn't have the nice video phone, HD camera, and all that stuff right on your hip. So we had these really cool walkie-talkies. One Adam 12, one Adam 12, 211 in progress. See the man. You know, so we was cool, but then so were 40,000 other people had the same radios at Disneyland. So we're there at Disneyland, and we rented these strollers, and who cares what it cost? It was worth the money because we could pack our lunches, camera bags, backpacks, water bottles, the whole ball of wax, and the kids could, change in and out, being pushed around and stuff. So that's what the day was going on like. Now, I need to tell you that on average, and I looked this stuff up, there's about 44,000 visitors per day at Disneyland. And you can only imagine all the strollers that are on the ground. And I think that day that 33,000 of us rented them dang strollers. And they're all the same color. Freaking green. And you put your big name, big letters, big name on the stroller. My name is Martins. It's not that, everybody thinks it's Mexican. It's not. Anyway, big letters, have my name on this stroller, right? So they can't miss it. And of course, when we're on a ride, we would park the strollers. You take all your valuables with you. And all three families of us, hey, Ben and Terry, Monty, thanks for tuning in. You got to go back and hear the rest of the story of something that happened today. And now I'm telling you how I blew it big time. Anyway, so we parked the strollers. And now, before I go too far into this story, my buddy swears on a stack of Bible that this happened 3 times to me. Well, I'm only telling about it twice in the book because I remembered it happening at least twice. But we get there and we go in, we do a ride, and we come out, and the 2 guys go grab their stroller, and I'm looking around for my stroller, and I can't find it. I mean, I'm looking all over for that dang thing. And so we start doing the grid search around Disneyland. There's 14 of us looking for this stroller that says Martins on it, and we can't find that dang stroller. So here's what my buddy says. He said, what happened next, my buddy Sean describes as typical optimistic Dwayne Martins. He's only seen me upset 2 times in the entire time that we've known each other, and it's been 20 plus years. He often comments that nothing rattles my cage, and usually that's the case, like the example I told you about today. No problem, I said, I'll head back out to the front gates and I'll get another stroller. And we had to cute little 1Adam12 walkie-talkies so I could communicate with them, find out where they're at, and we'll hook up with them later. So that whole episode took me, probably 45 minutes. You had to go stand in line again for the green stroller, and I walk up, and I think it took me about an hour to do that turnaround, is what we said. Well, soon I was right back enjoying It's a Small World. Now, if anyone's ever been to It's a Small World after all, it's a small world, I've just ruined your night, because the whole night you're going to hear It's a Small World in 42 languages, and you're going to send me a nastygram tomorrow. But anyway, by now, so that was stroller number one. By now it's getting late in the day, right? And we're trying to decide what to go do next. And so we're between Frontierland, Tomorrowland. We decide what ride we're going to go on. And away we go, and we park the strollers. Now we park them right next to this lamp post, and we stick them all in there, squinch them up together, and go on the ride. Well, and this was all back before the days of Fast Pass, so sometimes you'd stand in line for 45 minutes or better to get on one of the rides. And so, kids are getting tired, and if you had one of these strollers, man, that is like having a drink of iced tea in the middle of the day in the desert. They are handy to have around. So we go in, but you can even, your nerves can get frazzled even at the Magic Kingdom. So we go in, we do this ride, we come back out. Sean and Todd go and grab their strollers, and old Dwayne starts looking for his stroller. And that sucker is nowhere to be found. Now, you can see where this is going, and this is why my buddy told me that this was actually the third time that my stroller had been stolen. But I started screaming out. I was pissed off to the world. I think I said, "God dandruff, son of a bitches!" I don't know if that's the right words I said, but anyway, I was mad. And it didn't help that 13 of my friends are over here laughing at me because they've never seen me go into crisis mode before, right? So they're laughing their butts off, and I just can't understand why they would be doing that. And I yelled out a few choice words, like I said, and I saw this woman pushing a stroller over toward the garbage can, and I took off running after her. And this is the part that I'm not so proud about. But I screamed at her because she's just throwing something into the garbage can. And as that garbage can lid is flapping like this, I yelled at her. And oh my God, she wigged out and she got out of there as fast as she could. And I was mad because without tearing the lid off of that garbage can, I know that I caught the crook. So anyway, that's my friends, of course, by this time they are freaking rolling in the aisles, laughing their butts off at me. And so anyway, I storm through these 44,000 people. I go back out to the front gate. I walk up to Steve, the stroller guy. Now, by this time, we're on a first-name basis because this is my third time there to see him. And I said, I was smoking mad, and I said, "Steve, there is some rotten son of a out here." And he said, "Oh my God, what happened?" And I said, "This is the third time my stroller's been stolen, yada, 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 yada." And I said, "Does this happen all the time?" And he kind of lowered his head. And he said, "Yeah, it does happen a lot. It does happen a lot." And so, I apologized to him. I said, who in the world would do that, by the way? And then I said, I apologized to Steve. I pulled out of the guest with my third stroller of the day. I swore to those, the next time I come to Disneyland, I'm going to bring some dog turds to stick on right next to my big name so that they don't take my dang stroller. But here's a call out to anyone who's watching this on Facebook. If you have ever in your life stole somebody's stroller at Disneyland, you're going to need an asbestos suit to wear where you're going after you die. Okay? That is rude, crude, and socially unacceptable. I'm just here to tell you about that. So anyway, and I hope a fleas of 1,000 camels infest their armpits. So that's all I got to say about that. But now that that's out of my system, that's what I was talking about by a knee-jerk reaction. And that's not the best way to operate. It's not one of my proudest parenting moments. But knee-jerk reactions are a terrible way to handle things. And what I put in here is if knee-jerk reactions are typical for you, you'll develop that reputation with other people. And they won't want to be around you. They'll know that you're nasty. You embarrass them every place you go. So I want to tell you to do your best not to get caught up in the moment like that. So I guess if my buddy's seen me twice like that in 20-some years, that's okay. But I would much rather be the guy that I was today earlier to the cabinet guys, because you get free countertops. But anyway, so thankfully most of the time I'm like that. I think I got those patience from my mom. She was a very patient person, didn't get upset at a lot of things, didn't do much yelling at all. So I need to thank you, Mom, for that. And that's my story today on the two. Started out to make you so proud of Dwayne. Did such a good job, and then I blew it. So keep those knee-jerk reactions to a minimum. And I appreciate you tuning in, and I really sincerely mean it tonight that you are the ones that brought me out here. And now I'm full of energy. I probably won't sleep tonight. But 1,000 thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.